Evidence of their opinion.
The County Board
Notice.
The County Board of Supervisors August 19th meeting notice and agenda was posted in the Government Center building in 2 places and posted on the county website on Thursday, August 14th, 2025. In addition, on Thursday, August 14th at 2:05 p.m., the Office of the County Clerk distributed copies of such notice of meeting to supervisors and media via email.
Counselor?
That constitutes proper notice.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Brad Olson,
Here.
Doug Rowdy,
Here.
Steve Warndall,
Here.
Pam Garvey. Here. Tracy LeBlanc.
Here.
Dan Ruck.
Here.
Sharon Kelly.
Here.
Jeremy Hall. Kim O'Connell.
Here.
Tony Johnson.
Here.
Jay Luke.
Here.
Francis Duncan. Here. Russ Arkin.
Here.
Keith Karpinski.
Here.
And John Bonner Price.
Here.
Everybody is present.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
I do.
Motion on the agenda, please.
I so move that we accept the agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and second. Do we have any comments?
Question, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Brad.
So a question for I believe the administrator. Last month at the end of the meeting, it was agreed that on this agenda would be information regarding the zoning compliance officer, the number of citations written and the amount those were for. I did not see them in the packet anywhere.
That'll be in my administrative report.
Okay.
Any other comments or questions? All in favor of approval, signify by aye. Same sign for Renee. Need a motion on the consent agenda.
Motion to approve A and B on the consent agenda.
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Public comment. Okay, public comments are going to consist of 3 minutes and no more. I'll call the end of it at 3 minutes. We'll go up. See, we've got some people already upstairs, so we might as well, we have microphones and everything. I think it'll move a little better. You can get more if we use you up there. Go ahead with your comment. List your name and where you're from and receive your comment, please. Go ahead.
Yeah, turn on the mic.
Turn on the mic.
Unmute the room.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay. My name is Cynthia Sharara. I'm from Apple River Township. And I moved to Polk County about 8 years ago from the Twin Cities. And a large part of the draw that drew me and my husband to Polk County was the library system. And I think it's got a phenomenal amount of opportunities for the residents. And I think it's part of a quality of life that is important. And I know the board has been very, very generous in their support of the library system. I thank you for that. Would I be concerned if any of the funding was cut? Yes. Would I like to see it stay where it is? Yes. Would I be willing to pay more to fund the library system at 100%? Absolutely. Because I think every community wants a strong financial stability, and it's the infrastructure and the underlying things that a community has to offer that provides that stability. And that's why I'd like to see the library funded as well as possible. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Hello, my name's Chelsea Driscoll. I live in Amory, Wisconsin. I'm a mom and a special education teacher. I just moved here about 7 years ago, and I'm making comments tonight because I understand you're making a decision about funding the library. And I just wanted to let you know how much I appreciate what the library does for me and for my family. You know, it's where I made my first friend when I moved to town at a free mommy baby yoga class. And it's a safe space for my kids during the summer. My daughter did the 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten initiative. And there are just so many community building events. And so I just want to be sure that you guys understand what a valuable service it is to the community. And it really aligns with the mission and vision of Polk County to serve the people. I feel like we get our money back tenfold on what we spend on our libraries. And yeah, so thank you so much for your consideration and your hard work.
My name is Holly Hildebrandt. I'm from Balsam Lake, and I'm also concerned about the library funding. I appreciate all the funding that you have done, but I definitely don't want any funding cuts. I was being a homeschooler, I can tell you that libraries are crucial to homeschooling, and the homeschooling in Wisconsin has increased 37% since 2019-2020 school year. And it is continuing to increase. And it's just, I really want it to continue to be properly funded. For me personally, the library is my social life. I have become really good friends with the library director and librarian in Centuria. I go there about once a week. And you know, I think libraries really should be promoted because they have a lot of health benefits, including stress reduction, which I can personally attest to. Last year, 2024, was really stressful politically. I read 146 books last year, 114 of them from the public libraries. So, and it really was really helpful in maintaining my sanity. I really hope that you continue to fund the libraries at the present level. Thank you. Hello, my name is Heidi Hildebrandt. I'm from Balsam Lake Township, and I also am going to lend my voice in support of the public library system. I do thank you all for how you've supported it in the past. I strongly encourage you to continue that support. Like for my sister who spoke, the library is pretty much most of my social life, and I use them frequently for access to the internet and use their copier and their printer, and I've read 38 books from them so far and counting. But I feel the libraries are very crucial to the freedom in our nation, because one cannot enslave an ignorant people, but people who have gained knowledge of history and of science, of virtue, and of humanity, that they can get through the books that they have access to at the library. And for a lot of people would otherwise never have access to books. These people who can gain this knowledge are people who can maintain our freedoms. And the libraries are platforms where people can exercise the right to freedom of speech by writing books and having libraries from which people can access these books. So I very strongly support continued proper funding for the libraries. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Emily Phillips from the Village of Luck, and with St. Croix River Valley Resistance. And part of our mission statement is to advocate for free public spaces because they are incredibly important to any community, to be able to just exist somewhere around other people. There are almost no places in society where money isn't required to participate, and this is something that's really important. It provides resources that people may not be able to access in other ways. There's computers which you can use to type things up. Maybe people only have a phone and they go type things at the library, or you need to go print or copy something, as people have mentioned. There are also communal meeting places. We've used them a few times by reserving rooms, and we've run skill shares out of them, as well as just like community meetings. And librarians themselves, as well as the people at the libraries, can provide companionship to people who may not have other people to be around. There are a lot of lonely people. We've even been hearing about a loneliness epidemic. So maybe people need to go to the library, you know? And librarians and other people there, but mainly librarians who are an amazing resource, can help people with processes that can be very confusing, like Social Security or insurance or whatever else they might have to fill out online. A lot of people are not technologically literate, and librarians become incredibly knowledgeable about a lot of processes just by how many times they see and encounter things. So for a lot of reasons, libraries are an incredibly important resource, and I would appreciate to see funding as high or as close to 100% as possible. And I appreciate very much that you guys have a history of funding over the legal amount. That is very much appreciated, and we want to see that continue. Thank you.
Because I'm afraid of a tantrum. Hi, my name is April Byron. I moved here in 2021 as a transplant from Minnesota, and I moved to Frederick, and I feel fortunate enough that I've been able to meet people and do exercise all these educational kind of outreach that the library provides, especially for being a transplant. I found out about like birth through 3. I found out about the St. Croix family services. I probably got that acronym wrong. I found out about story times at multiple libraries in Polk County, and they're all different days. So I've been using the library as a resource just to connect me with my children who now are going to be in the Frederick School District. So libraries also work with the schools. I became a member of the school board committee for Frederick, and it's just amazing how much that we incorporate the Frederick Library with our school system and the Roots and Branches program that we have. So I'm hearing that you guys go above and beyond, and I really appreciate that you're allowing all of us to speak about how much libraries mean to a community. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mara Horns. I've worked and lived seasonally in Frederick over the last 8 years, and now as of this last spring, now I live in Frederick permanently. But in the past, places where I've been living outside of Frederick, I haven't had access to the internet. So, going into the library, using internet was just kind of vital for me, staying plugged into the rest of my life outside of work, staying plugged into like community and family members. I love going to the book sales at the library. Love that this community has such a flourishing library system. We have such a healthy interlibrary loan system, and all the different amenities that are available at the library are just so important. So as a new resident, I love the library system, coming here and being able to see what's going on already. And I love the funding you guys have been giving to the library. So I'd love to see that continue as much as possible.
Good evening. My name is Josh Carlisle. I'm with St. Croix Falls. I did send an email earlier yesterday, so the council members should be able to see it. I just wanted to make sure that you had a face so you know when you read it, you could imagine me writing it. Thank you. Have a good day.
Good evening. My name is Kathy Hink. I live in Osceola. I'm just here to advocate for the libraries. I've done it once before, and so I won't repeat the same speech. I just want to thank you for funding them to the level that you have. Always encourage, if you can go to 100, let's do it. But I thank you very much. I echo everything everybody said here. Thank you.
I'm Jill Glover. I am the director of the Luck Public Library, and I want to especially thank everybody that is on the Polk County Board of Supervisors for going above and beyond in their funding year after year after year and in their support of libraries. I want to thank you personally, all of you, for the hard work that you do and the decisions that have to be made. I know that we have benefited greatly from your generosity and from your support of libraries. I want to just express that I'm grateful for everybody that came to support libraries today. I'm grateful for the work that I get to do at my public library and the people that I get to serve at my public library. I love each and every one of them. I want to make sure that they have a quality of life that is the highest that they can have. If they're homeless, if they're a lake person, if they're just a person in town with a business, if they are just a person passing through and use the Wi-Fi or the copier or the internet, I want to make sure everybody that stops by has the highest quality of service that they can possibly get, even though we are limited in our funding and we are limited in our space. I think that being connected to 53 other libraries in the Moore system really gives us a lot of strength and a lot of community and a lot of service. So I thank you for what you do for us. I think that's it here.
Anyone else? Anyone else for a public comment? Seeing none, we'll move on to the administrator's condition of the county report.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Next slide. All right, tonight we'll talk about the results from our 2024 audit. Excuse me, the 24 audit. Jonathan will be here next month to talk about that. He could not make this meeting, so I'll touch on some things in my presentation, but some of the details, Jonathan will be there. With that, our available fund balance, Moody's rating they did for us, sales tax, workforce, and some of your board priorities and how we've been working on those. Next slide. Right now, this is our general fund balance. What's available to us right now for spending is approximately $8 million. With that, part of that is already committed and part of that is already reserved. So that went up slightly, about $500,000 with that. So things are looking good for our fund balance. We have a healthy fund balance. This is key to part of our Moody ratings and keeping our ratings where we're at. Next slide. Again, the Moody's rating, it takes in several different accounts as we look at the Moody ratings. Some of the things they look at that are positive are our audit financials, and part of that is showing a healthy fund balance and how we do our funds, how we do our budgeting process. They look at legal risks. They look at those. They looked at this. We do not have any legal risks that affect this. They also look at the our local economy. Polk County shows low growth, which is kind of a negative for our rating. But overall, our rating was a AA2/AA rating, which, next slide. If you look at that, where we stand with 26 other counties for our Moody rating. So that's a very good rating with us. It's great for our county for bonding and borrowing money to provide a stable levy and a resilient budget for us for future boards. So that rating is very important. So it's important to maintain our fund balance to a point. So we don't want to spend down our savings. We want to have a balance there, not overinflate that, but not cut it down either. Next slide. Sales tax. This is one of the things we budget and forecast out. As I reported to the committees in July, we were up like 33% in July. So we're sitting right now 11.4% over last year's, about 304,000. So the question always begs is, what do we budget for? We tend to err on the side of the previous year's budget because from 22 to 23, we showed an increase from those numbers of $200,000. But from 23 to 24, we only showed an increase of $30,000 in sales tax. So there's not a lot of room there to inflate those numbers. So we're conservative with that. And in 2024's number, the sales tax was about $5.01 million. So that's what we're going to budget for 2025 at this point. Next slide. Our investment portfolio, we have about $34 million in investments, 10 of which is liquid, 24 which is fixed long-term. Of that, we yield approximately 4% on our income. So we're doing pretty well on our investments. believe last quarter, it was up about $200,000 on that. So that is looking very good. Next slide. Workforce. Polk County unemployment is running a little higher, is at 3.6. Wisconsin is at 3. Right now, the labor market is increasingly favorable to employers. We're seeing this in applications where we used to get minimal applications. We're probably getting 10 times the applications for some positions right now. So things are switching around a little bit with that. For the 2025-2026 budget, our increase for compensation is right now we're forecasting 2.5%. It's a little lower than Social Security at 2.7, but that is what we're looking at right now for the 2026 budget. And I'll have all those more numbers in September when you get the draft budget for those items. Next slide. Board priorities for 23 and 25 for this board was to increase public safety, reduce substance abuse, expand broadband access, invest in parks and tourism, support housing initiatives, and improve infrastructure. Next slide. Starting with public safety, we did a lot of stuff so far. We've upgraded our dispatch space, upgraded tasers, radios, additional communications officer, upgraded security at the Justice Center and the Government Center, and added 3 additional patrol positions. Under considerations for next year are 9 replacement for squads and upgrading all the squad computers. They're running their end of life. Next slide. As you can see, the updated command center there is on the bottom. Our beautiful 911 functional space for dispatch. Great upgrades on those that came through. Next slide. The goal of substance abuse, recent actions, we're in year 5 of the drug-free community grant. Year 4 of the TAD grant. Did a Narcan training, alcohol compliance check. Coming up for next consideration are our MRT training for the jail and mapping system. That's with the Department of Justice for diversion programs. So that's coming up on the docket for next year. Next one, broadband. Broadband was significant for Polk County. We have 93% of the county has fiber available at the roadway. So that was a significant investment we did, which has come through for high-speed internet for Polk County. The remaining stuff has been made available for other infrastructure projects to keep us moving forward in the future. Next slide. Parks and Recs. We did a lot with Parks and Recs. D.D. Kennedy got upgrades, Sterling, the ATV parks, Clam Falls Dam, the St. Croix Fall bathrooms down in St. Croix at the trailhead. We moved the PTAG money to maintenance. That was a big one to move that money over to continue to keep our parks looking good. Under consideration for next year's budget are some lighting at the fairgrounds. The grandstand project got a kickoff meeting August 15th. So that's getting ready to go here the next couple months to finish up in spring for next year's fair. So that's moving along at a great pace. Next slide. Above you can see D.D. Kennedy, the top right picture. You can see the brand new bathrooms in the background. The play equipment, we've added on to the play equipment to the right there that was still under construction. That's the dam at the D.D. Kennedy Park also. Next slide. Summers Lake, we expanded Summers Lake to provide parking for equestrian horses and trails on that. So they have a loop to go around and back in with their equestrian trails, get to their equestrian trails. The beginner's course on the left there, that's the ATV intensive park, which is gaining use as we speak. That's been very popular and getting a lot of use. Clam Falls Dam. That's been coming along. I'm proud to say, or I'm happy to say, the issue with the actuator has been solved. It was a simple fix, but took people from all over the United States to come here and fix it. It was just a programming issue in the pumps from the factory settings. They put it to the proper settings, and voila, they work 100% up and down. So unfortunately, a gentleman had to fly from North Carolina, several from Canada, solve the issue, but it came down from settings on that. Next one. Housing, we've made some strides in housing. Amory was awarded $70,000 for 10 units on a project. We're currently working with them on their promissory notes on their payback plan and how that'll work. And we have a request for application for a residential project in a village. So might be another application, more information coming for you back on that. Next slide. Jumping to highway, recent projects, big ones were the County B project was a federal share project. County E was an extra project that you approved in the budget to go through there. The recycling center is looking very good, getting back. The landscaping is going in, the fence went up last week, so that is coming along very well. Next on deck for new projects, we have the Justice Center HVAC, that's the boilers, heaters, AC, and the controls for that. Other highway projects coming up there is County Road I, that's from Clam Falls Trail going north to County Road O. We're past the dam project there. A short stretch in Frederick. It's as you turn on the West Suite and W there, it's the first couple blocks that needs to be redone. County C there down in Alden. So you'll be seeing those projects coming forward. Next slide. Another new bridge that got replaced. It was on County W there at McKenzie Creek. That one turned out very well, along with another one that was on 357th Avenue up in the town of Lorraine. Picture on the right is County Road B. That was a long time coming project, 7-mile project. And this picture here, they still have the shouldering left to do, so they got a good thick payment on that, so that'll last a long time. Next slide. The recycling center. For those of you who haven't seen some of the upgrades and the look inside, the big square on the end, this side of the building that you see now, there was the addition on there, along with extra parking, asphalt inside. You can see how well it's now they're doing with inside and the lighting in there that you can actually see in the facility. It was a big upgrade from what it was before. Next slide. Coming up now for 26, 28, we have board priorities. The planning session will be scheduled once the new board is seated. Last time we had extension help out with the planning and the goal setting. We could use West Coast Regional Planning to help us out there. That's still in planning. I know they did interviews with each supervisor on their goals and priorities. So that's still to come next spring as we move forward. Summary, the financial position of the county is strong due to due diligence. We do continue to progress on priorities, as you saw in the last slides. We're moving forward with that. We're in an excellent position for future boards and priorities. With that, as managing the debt limit, debt schedule, maintaining a stable levy, continue to have a resilient, stable, balanced budget for future boards. That's why I say that balance of bonding and keeping our debt issuance steady so that we can have a stable levy and not have very fluctuations in them. So that's going on with that. So we're sitting good. We're sitting really good financially. So if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them. Yes, John?
The boilers at the Justice Center, are we gonna be replacing those boilers? And so it's usually $1 million project. We usually had special bonding for the boilers alone.
Right now, the project's scheduled at $2.2 million. It'll be done in 2 phases. We'll go out for the,
Go out for bids on that?
what's that?
So we'll go out for bids on
We'll go out for
bonding.
bids next year for the entire project, but complete it in 2 phases. It'll be 2.2 million.
That's a hit.
Anybody else? Russ?
What was Brad's concern that you were gonna address? Your report?
My administrative report on the compliance zoning technician.
All right.
Just,
Go ahead.
are we sticking with our CIP on some of these things? Are we actually using that
Yes,
to go by that?
yes.
All
For
right.
future programming, we are using the CIP. We lock in solid the next year for budgeting. The 5-year plan, they kind of float a little bit depending on accomplish.
Have we checked some off so that we can add to or whatever?
Absolutely.
All right. Would the boiler fall into that?
The boiler does fall into that.
Okay.
There's no huge projects in the CIP coming up. When I mean huge, like $7 million renovations and that, we'll have the roof on the south side of this building or the north side of this building is one. We're finishing tuck pointing this year at the museum. We got new boiler, HVAC in the CISA building. So there's no new large projects coming out besides their standard highway projects and ongoing facility projects that are manageable.
After your meeting on August 15th, does that conclude all the meetings for the grandstand project? Do we know what the costs are? What the bids were?
The bid came in at
budgeted?
what did the bid come in at the grandstand? It was just over $1 million. The fair share was $393 for that. Then our cost is subsequently, they're paying for 31% of that. We're paying for the.
But we
remaining.
budgeted like 1.6 or something, right?
It's been adjusted. We budgeted 1.6.
So then that $8 million that's in our savings currently, that does not include the savings from that project yet. Or the reimbursement from the Clam Falls Dam.
Correct.
That's
Correct.
7 million. So we have.
We're still floating that right now. We estimate that and come with that money to what we say is the estimate. Until we get the final one, we err on the side of caution and don't. We give a conservative number. When we say $8 million to spend, we give a conservative number so that we have those other ones coming in.
We still have about 7 some million that we're gonna add to that number also. Is that correct?
7 million?
Yeah, from the Clam Falls reimbursement.
The Clam Falls reimbursement is approximately, we have $2 million in earmark. And then the remaining cost on that is a 50-50 cost share through the dam grant program. So our cost out of that should come around $750,000. About that. Like I said, we do that conservatively, so we don't, say it's gonna be X and it comes in above that. So we're kind of conservative with that number.
So realistically, we're close to 9 million.
Realistically, yes.
Go ahead.
So on the dam now with that fix in, does that bring the water level back to where it was originally?
Currently, that's where we're keeping it. It's at elevation of 2301 to 2305 above sea level, which puts us approximately a foot below the bridge.
Okay,
Although residents have noticed, they think it's lower just because during the drawdown, a lot of weeds grew up over that. So they see a lot of vegetation by the shoreline. So they think it's lower than it is, but it's still a foot below the bridge.
Okay.
Where we try to be. I believe that elevation is 2305 to 2301 is where we're trying to keep it. Rain.
Anyone else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to go into the committee as a whole. The reason we decided to do a committee as a whole for discussion purposes, it's a lot easier to accomplish and getting things resolved better than going into the formal resolutions adoption that we'll address after the meeting. So
Do we need a motion?
Need a motion to go into committee.
I move we go to committee.
Second.
Motion made and second to go into the committee as a whole. All right, with those comments in mind, does anybody have any discussion regard?
Let's vote on it.
Oh, I'm sorry, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Let's discuss 24-25 on the library service. Does anybody want to address that? Sort of an informal thing.
We're just in discussion here and then we'll have to make a motion.
The motion, all action on any of these resolutions will be done in number 10.
Yeah.
Be taken for, but discussion is open. Kim, do you have something?
The question I have, so it says recommended by the general government. They didn't see anything wrong with it or anything, so that's why it was
Correct.
recommended. What was the vote?
Chair, before we discuss any resolution in particular, just so that we're all addressing the same thing and know what we're addressing, I would ask that a motion be made to bring a particular resolution to the floor for discussion
Okay.
and then have it be seconded and then have the discussion on that.
All right, we need a motion on resolution 2425. Kim
Make a
makes a motion.
To move, what number is it? 2425 to the floor for discussion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor? Aye. Same sign, go ahead.
Same question. How did they vote and what did they
That was
discuss?
unanimous vote. That was unanimous at that.
It was unanimous? Okay.
And we listened to a lot of comments. Anything else on the library? Reason. Oh, okay. Very good. Discussion. Need a motion to discuss 2525.
I make
Motion to discuss 25.
Has been made
I'll second.
and seconded to address motion 2525. All in favor?
Aye.
Same sign. All right, go ahead. You have a comment, Doug? Go ahead.
I have a comment, and this came up from a call from a constituent in Luck. And what I would like to do is amend this 2525 so that it ends on line 24. It says the special charge will be 525 and stop there. And just because we should have another trial year on this issue. And the reason being is that the person that called me had several small plots of land that he has signs on advertising for whatever. One is across the street from the Frederick golf course. There's several down in St. Croix Falls. I don't know if Sharon was called, but I know that Jeremy has been, Brad has been. And what the issue is there's that so far, none of this in the resolution shows there's any type of an appeal process. When people are being charged for separate pieces of property just because they're improved, they're called improved, they shouldn't have to pay the fee. There's no recycling being done off of these people's pieces of property. Because what I was instructed was we're probably trying to have this on homes. And now all of a sudden, there's other issues or there's other ones that the administrator has brought up. And I just think that we should look at having some type of a process. And that would lead me to Joe on 11 through 13 of this resolution 2525.
Have you got a amendment ready for action on the next?
Yes. I mean, I'm sort of stating it now, but
You're giving us an understanding of what you're trying to do.
because under 2011 through 13, it says the cost of services rendered to persons using the services of the county's solid waste site system. And it says that they should be reasonable fees, approximately compensation used for compensation. Well, if you have a sign and a small piece of property, you aren't getting any waste off of there. So you're not going to go to the recycling center with what? So that's my main discussion.
Have we ever considered, I know they look at that field in their database that it says if there's a dollar amount in there, they're going to be charged. That's how they determine who's going to be charged. And according to Amanda. And so if we would put a dollar amount on there, if it's over so much, then you would get the sense that it's a building versus a sign or something else that isn't generating any waste. Because I think that happens to a lot of people. And I don't think that people pay that much attention when they're looking at their taxes for that particular field. Because, I've gotten some calls on it, but I think there's some confusion out there on who's paying the fee and who isn't paying the fee. So I don't know if we've thought about other ways that we could determine that. who we should be charging and who we shouldn't?
Fran?
I just have a couple of questions. One of them is, um, it's my understanding, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that the parcels to be assessed the charge have to show an improvement of something that is a structure they pay taxes on.
Not a structure, just as long as there's a dollar amount in that field, you're getting charged that $35.
So when we had discussed this before, it was my understanding things like wooded 40s and farmland were not going to be assessed any recycling charges on them.
As long as there's zero in that improved field.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to. So they're counting, okay, I guess I wasn't aware. I didn't know that signage was counted as an improvement on the tax roll.
If it's a benefit, I believe, I'm not an assessor, but it's an improvement to the land that
Okay.
the assessor applies to it, that it's, I don't know what that improvement means, whether it's a structure, whether it's pavement of a parking lot, all those are considered improvements to the property. A bare 40 that has no improvements would not be charged
Okay.
that fee, or would agricultural or other ag charge that fee. Is currently exempt from it.
So we could potentially then, maybe this is a question for Joe, because I don't know the legality of it. It's exempting an assessment under a certain dollar amount.
You as the board can set the rules how you would like them to be set. So if you wanted to create that exemption for improvements of a certain dollar amount, the question is the feasibility of doing it. And I don't know what the feasibility of discovering what the assessed value for an improvement is. I don't know. So you can set whatever parameters you want for that special fee. You can say everyone pays it. You can say this particular area, whatever. You can set those things, but again, the question comes down to whether or not staff is able to accomplish that.
There's a way to implement that.
And there is with, I mean, they're just asking the database a question. Right now, they're saying, is there a value in that field? If there's a value in that field, you're going to get assessed the $35. So you could change your question to say if the value is above 5,000 or whatever.
25,000.
Yeah, whatever the number would be. It's the same thing. You're just asking a question.
I think that would be doable on a database.
Yeah.
I mean, if we have
The
that data,
software.
we have that data there.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that was talked about last year, that we were going through this as a trial phase, see what came out, and then we'd review that and determine changes. And from what I can see, we didn't really make any changes to that. We just want to push it back through moving forward. And I think it really needs some more review and to be able to define what is a true improvement and where that should go in order to get this right. And then I'd like to see that go for another year and determine how that works before we put something more long-term in.
I think that's exactly the discussion right now is how that works and what calls we've got from it. And that's what you're seeing right now. So to Doug's point, if we extend this for a year or two or another year to say properties above this threshold, get the charge, and you reevaluate it at that time.
Yeah.
Well, I think originally it was set off the Pierce County data, and at the time Pierce County passed it, I believe in the late 90s, it was 10,000. If you did a calculation today on inflation, it'd probably be closer to that 25 today. So if someone wanted to set that as an amendment to the motion at 25,000 on a 1-year trial of improvements and see where that comes out, I think there'd be a lot more public support to that than what we've got currently.
And that would give us a good idea of what that brings in. too.
Right.
Yeah. And Amanda should be able to give us that information.
Keith, did you have something?
I was just gonna ask for clarification on Doug's proposal. What I believe you said, apply it to the 25 tax bill and then strike the rest of that.
It would just leave that out because it says that the rest of it is subsequent property tax bills, and we should have another year of trial. If we're seeing some of these issues pop up, and is there a large number of them? Possibly not. We still should be looking at the ones that there are. Make it a fair tax instead of just saying, well, he paid 35 for each one of his signs, and that's okay. No, it's not really.
Fran, go ahead.
I just had I didn't get a chance to ask this before. So what about tax exempt parcels, churches, schools, things of that nature? They don't get a tax bill. But it's my understanding of the way the system works, we could send them a tax bill and the only thing on that bill would be the recycling charges. Do you know if that's currently being done or not?
I don't know if we can. I haven't looked into that issue. Don't know whether it's being done.
Okay, I know you can do with public fire protection to tax exempt entities, and I think you can with any special charge, but I'm not an attorney, so if you wouldn't mind looking into that, that would be great.
Tim,
How much did we bring in last year? How much was it? 831 approximately?
Approximately 842, 450,
So
and that was on 24,070 properties.
how many properties? 24,000?
24,070.
Okay. So what's left at the recycling center to finish it up?
There's
On the CIP, what do we have left there?
Rod, you want-
Phase two equipment ordered. At $724,760. Of that, we've paid about $150,000 toward that. So we have the remainder of that, and then phase three is the container sort line. For a minimum of $415,000.
So we're not even at $1 million.
Then as we sustain that fund, not only with operations and alleviate, shifting that 360,000 in levy approximately to other operations in the county. Future equipment needs that are ongoing, then we currently run 3 hook trucks. Forklifts and bins are a constant replacement on there as a 1-ton truck. Future glass breaker.
So this fee, it says that we have to do a charge. So we're gonna collect more than what we need.
Right, and that's one of the
So
things.
does this fee go down as we do that then, or are we just gonna leave it and what do we do with that extra money?
I would recommend. What we do in the future is look at the fee then offsetting costs to residents at the recycling center processing mattresses or other items, that we lower that fee for Polk County residents. Or at some point, we lower the fee after we have our capital needs met and have enough money to maintain staffing needs.
So it's not gonna be an enterprise.
No, it's be a
Was
dedicated,
that not part of our discussion at one time?
right, it was,
It's gonna stay under the county.
it'll stay under the county as dedicated funds, similar to like a special fund like the highway department, which maintains their funds when they have extra. But it would be evaluated that we don't overinflate that fund.
So we have $9 million. Can we use that to pay phase 2 and 3 and they pay it back? So that's caught up, so it gets done sooner.
It would be an option of the board to go in there and some of that down. Again, maintaining our debt service is one thing for borrowing. We want to maintain our levy to keep it stable.
We have 50% is what we have in our rules of order and things, but we're at 85.
Right,
I mean, so we're way over.
right, we are
So
over,
why don't we use this stuff?
right, we can do that. One of the things our objective is though to continue on with our borrowing for other projects. Maintain our levy, keep it stable. With that, so we don't have fluctuations and drop it, so.
Obviously,
I'm not
we don't want
against,
to lower taxes, is what we're saying.
you know,
This is a way to lower.
I want to
fee
keep it
is a
steady.
tax, is it not?
We want to keep our taxes steady, so we don't lower them now, and in future years now we'll have to raise them exponentially.
Has it ever went down in Polk County?
Last year it went down on our levy with our balanced
It
budget.
went down, but the fees went up. Okay.
I
It goes down, but it goes up. All right.
have a question. You just mentioned lowering fees for Polk County residents. That's just not restricted to Polk. Anybody can go into that recycling
Right.
center. And nobody ever checks if they're a resident or not.
No, but if we chose to go down that path, it'd be required, then you show your ID for a Polk County residency to get.
And that's one of the
free.
things I've been talking to different people about is what do you do in your city? And they all have cards that they have to scan when they come in, like I do in St. Croix to drop garden waste. We have a card we have to scan when we go through the gate. But so when you said residents, we're lowering the fees for non-residents too, because we don't know, we have no clue how many are non-residents using the.
We would check IDs or go with a card system so that
Yeah.
or Polk County residents.
Okay.
So Doug, we should try to get the language now before, I mean, you don't have to make a motion, but give us your language. And let's try to get the improved property valued over 25,000 incorporated, and that would address your issue. And let's also get it for 1 year.
And that,
And then every year, the board can decide if we're gonna continue a special charge.
right, because my answer to that is, as Dan brought up the 25,000, and I'm not against that at all. I think that's wonderful. What I'm saying is, we need that next year to look and see how that's working out.
Yep.
Because we needed this year to see what we're dealing with now on these other issues.
Well,
So
it's-
that's why I was just stopping it at the special change shall be applied to 2025.
If I can, Chair,
Go ahead.
I might suggest when we go back into
Right.
the board as a whole, that the action, instead of amending right now, the action rather be that this board send it back to committee for reconsideration. Allow staff the time to look into what dollar amount is the right dollar amount to recommend that this board adopt, so that we capture properties that actually have improvements that would potentially be utilizing center, while eliminating other properties that aren't likely to be using the recycling center. If we pick an arbitrary number, my concern is that we're eliminating properties arbitrarily that may still have something there that would utilize the recycling center. And so what I'm hearing is the board wants to capture as many properties that are likely to utilize the recycling center as possible. Eliminating properties, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense with the billboards. So allowing staff the time to go and see if we can parse that out and provide that information to the committee rather than amend right now is probably better option.
In other words, you're saying that when we go back into the regular session, that
That we make our change,
to make the changes.
suggested changes, but we don't vote on it. We
Right.
send
and
it
then-
back to committee,
Right.
which gives them an opportunity a month to look at it.
Okay.
And then it goes back through committee and
Okay.
comes back again.
Sounds that's what we were thinking about.
Does that work
I've got postponed written down here on my notes.
already? It's actually refer back to committee.
It was well said by you guys. It should be referred back.
Yeah, okay. That sound reasonable, Counselor?
Yes.
I don't decide, you
All
decide.
right.
That's just my recommendation.
Well, that's sometimes worth something. But, no offense, right? Any more comment on that resolution?
Chair,
Who did? Steve. Oh, Steve, yeah, go ahead.
I agree with everything that we just said, but we really need a decision then for your budgeting purposes when it comes back. So part of the budget, and a lot is hinging on it. Dollars. When it comes back, have to be great on it. So,
From committee.
but, well, back from staff to
Yeah,
committee
right.
to here, but
Right.
then we're gonna be in the middle of our budget then.
Right, because it
So,
comes back.
we gotta
True.
move it along or kill it.
Anybody else have anything on that? 25? All right, hearing that, need motion on resolution 2625.
To bring it to the floor for discussion.
Second.
Thank you.
Motion made and seconded to discuss and bring before discussion 2625. Any comments on that? Discussion that you
I
want?
have one. What does fix mean? What does fix mean? Does it, are they gonna set the are we setting the compensation? I mean, I don't understand what
Prefer the
fix
word
means.
set.
Yeah, versus fix. What is fix?
Always
Okay.
been.
Huh, okay.
It's kind of a language cleanup
Yeah.
and write down what we actually do.
Joel?
Can we vote on the motion to bring it to the floor?
I think
I
we
did.
No, we didn't vote.
Okay.
I moved to bring it to the.
We already have some.
We have the motions.
Yeah.
We need to vote.
In favor.
It was made and seconded and all in favor.
Thank you.
So I don't know where the word fix versus set is, but ultimately from my perspective, it would probably be the same. What line are we looking at?
Just the
First,
header.
right at the top.
Title.
Resolution.
I didn't know what they meant by fix. Is it broken? We gotta fix it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Set, fix.
Does this get into per diem and mileage and all those things, or?
Sure.
Yes, no. Well,
Well,
yes,
it's
it's, yep. Compensation for the next committee.
The board meetings and committee meetings?
Yep,
Yeah.
fix the compensation. Or set.
Listed in the,
Mr. Chair, can I make a comment?
yes, you can. That's the purpose of that.
Last Thursday and Friday, I attended the Wisconsin County's Constitution. There are 22 Constitution rules, and we had, it's the best turnout there's ever been. There's 71 out of 72 counties. And it's not in the Constitution as far as compensation. That most of the rules are all left up to the counties themselves. And it's not in the Constitution as far as any compensation. But all of the, except for Polk County, from what our calculation was, all of the counties get some kind of compensation for a committee or meetings, except from what I can understand is Polk County, we don't have any compensation for the a phone or participating in any meetings. And I mentioned that and I got really chastised from Andy Phillips, our Wisconsin state attorney. He said, "You mean you can participate in a meeting and you don't get paid for it?" And with any compensation, and I think right now, as far as phone calls or any other participation, we've got some kind of at the last county constitution. I think that was.
Yeah, the rules of order. Change the rules of order, and that was up to the chairman. If it was all right to get paid by Zoom, I thought.
Right.
Zero.
It's in the rules of order right now. It states 0, but that is only addressed in the rules of order. That's not addressed at all in the compensation resolution. This just sets those dollar amounts and what committees get paid for what.
And the usage of the word fix is from the statutes. That's why.
Okay.
So this didn't change from last year.
We had verbiage changes, basically clarifying some things to make it easier for reimbursement. We've always done where committee members get reimbursed the per diem when they're on the committee. So we wanted to clarify that for anything outside attended, like that is optional. that we do reimburse mileage for that, but not the $100 per diem. So we cleaned up that language in a couple of typos, I believe. In the general government packet that went out, there was a red line version of the resolution of what we changed. But because it has the dollar amount, we wanted this to come to committee of the whole. So that way, if you did want to change those dollar amounts at this time, you're able to.
Right. So most of the changes that are different from the previous fixing of the compensation are to clarify what we have done in practice versus some ambiguities in the language of the previous resolutions. We also removed the payment for committee of the whole that somewhat contemplated having a committee of the whole that's separate from a board meeting. The way it was written was somewhat ambiguous as to whether or not you were supposed to be getting paid twice for the meeting today, because we're calling a committee of the whole and then we're having a county board meeting at the same time. So removing that to make sure that it's clear that everyone's not getting paid twice to come to this one meeting simply because we're having a portion of the meeting in there. That was changed.
I don't think so, because we did just up these the last time in 2023 for the 2024 through 6 term. We're changed to these dollar amounts, but if anybody has any recommendations for changing them further, that's what we're here for.
There wasn't any. There wasn't any specific amount, but on virtual meetings or phone meetings or something, anybody that participated in county meetings did have some kind of compensation. Some of them were at 100%, some of them were at 50%. 50% was the lowest that I had heard for any kind of virtual participation. And then even on virtual, the county's saving money for mileage.
And so all of those things are going to be addressed by new board after the election.
Right.
The new board gets to set what their rules of order are, and they get to address whether or not those restrictions get put in place for appearing virtually, et
So
cetera.
then what does it mean on our agenda?
This is just the
Just
amounts.
clarifying the corrections that we automatically by consensus made to clear up the double payment for meetings like this, for an example, like the counselor just explained.
I didn't know anybody ever got paid double.
Well, no, that's because, and now it's being clarified.
Yep.
So did the committee, is it recommended from the committee, did they?
Yes.
How was that vote?
Unanimous.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Anybody else? Ron?
I just have a comment, and I'm not suggesting anything one way or the other, but just as far as the compensation goes, I just wonder if it's commensurate with other counties our size across the state. And then I happened to see that the county chair, the dollar amount is $9,000. We have mayors in Polk County that make $12,000. Just throwing that out there. Nobody's getting rich in anything, and I'm not saying we should raise it or we shouldn't raise it. I'm just putting the information out there for what it's worth.
Right. Anybody else have any comments? All right. Move the motion to go back into the regular session.
Make a motion, we go back into the regular session and take a 5-minute break.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded to go back into a regular session. All right, we stand in proposal resolutions ordinances number 10 after a 5-minute break.
We're gonna carry that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It used to be a smoke.
I'll give a quick report. It's good to know. You got me. Yeah. I think we're on resolutions and potential action on them. Some action.
I make a motion to approve resolution 2325 to adopt the master fee schedule for the 2026 budget proposal.
Second.
Motion made and second to adopt resolution 2325. Was that the word?
Masterpiece.
Master fee.
Masterpiece. Okay, any discussion, Reverend?
These, the ones that all went through committee, was there any other changes that we know of, or these have all been,
They've all been through committee as.
all been through each committee, so, and we still can amend this up to November?
I believe so. With the budget process, yes, correct.
Okay, but to keep the budget process, this is right. All right. Thank you.
Any other comments? None. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, we'll move on to B, resolution 2425 library. Resolution.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2425, resolution to set library service rates for calendar year 2026.
That's
Second.
presented. Motion made and seconded. Any discussion?
And is there, that's 95%?
Correct.
Yes.
It's in
No
the
change.
resolution, right? That's the way I read it. Okay. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Passes unanimously. Need a motion on resolution 2525, continuous special charge for resolution, or for recycling.
Motion to move it back to committee. For clarifications, on what we discussed during the committee though.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to move it back to committee for special consideration.
Just for clarification, that's with a $25,000 and above chart, amount for the property improvement, a 1-year trial with that.
But we don't know that that's the right amount. We said
That's why.
staff should,
Special.
yeah, and determine what makes sense.
Bring it back to committee for consideration. Okay, any more discussion on that resolution?
So that should be on the next September meeting,
Well, hopefully.
hopefully.
Yeah. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Resolution D and resolution 2625, fixed compensation for the board. I think that was discussed. Need a motion on that?
Motion to approve.
Made to approve
Second.
and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Confirmation appointments by the county board, didn't have any. Confirmation appointments by the county administrator,
Not have any appointments this month.
none.
0.
Okay. I don't have anything to report, special that we haven't discussed quite thoroughly. County administrator, what do you have for a report?
Just a couple things. We have a treatment court graduation coming up September 5th. One person will be graduating. Treatment court starts at 9 a.m. The graduation will be after that, approximately 10 a.m. over at the Justice Center Community Room. Golden Age Manor has an open house on September 4th from 2 to 4 for a brand new hospice suite in partnership with Dore Home Health and Hospice. And again, that's 2 to 4 p.m. on September 4th. During the General Government Committee, the fair reported an attendance this year of 39,500 people going to the fair. The question was asked last time on the compliance officer or compliance tech, zoning tech position, and how that was looking or funding. did reports from April 1st, 2024 to July 1st, 2025. The cost of the position was $95,000. That position has issued 341 permits for a revenue of $111,685. During that time, we've had 202 compliance issues. 156 of those have been resolved. They've issued 32 citations. There's outstanding fees collections of $5,000 on those. The average citation is approximately $398 to $452. Most of those citations are forgiven once they come into compliance. Is issue with that. Some of the stuff that can comport on that, if these issues, citation issues, these 202 or 156 have been resolved, go to court. That is a cost to the county of approximately $781 per compliance issue. If it goes to a jury trial, that is approximately $2,542 per issue. That does not include the state time, such as the judge's time, the court reporter time. It does not account for the economic cost of these issues going to court or jury trial, such as if a person is serving on the jury and they have a business and they have to be in court all day. That's where it stands right now. That's what I have.
Thank you.
And supervisors report. Ron, did you want to give a report?
I'll give her.
Oh, I'm sorry, Fran, go ahead.
Okay, so I just got to do it one more time. One more plug for the Bootleggers Ball, the Historical Society and Museum on August 29th, jail and bail with our Judge Phil Oliva and with the Polk County Sheriff's Department conducting our arrest. So it's going to be a good time and a good fundraiser. I'm going to tend bar and I'm going to be running a tab for people I want arrested. Just throwing that out there.
Okay. Anybody else? Steve, go ahead.
I just want to thank the Sheriff's Department for putting on the neighborhood night out.
That was awesome.
John and I were over there. Those kids are having an absolute ball. Talk about, setting an example and showing kids about law enforcement and the K-9 and all the other people who were there, fire, ambulance, health. I mean, it's just all positive. I mean, them kids are just having an absolute ball. Also wanted to thank Josh Keltz, our highway commissioner, for bringing his vending truck there and giving out free mini donuts and snow cones to people. It's just, I can't say enough good about it. It's fantastic.
And the staff that really put in their time to make it such a big success. There was one of the jail people or somebody, they were counting number of free throws for kids. And I don't know, they gave away a lot of bicycles. There was a lot of business places donated bicycles. And boy, when you seen a kid win a bicycle, you think it's up in heaven.
Oh, yeah.
But the other thing on a personal note is we had somebody try and do some fraudulent stuff on one of our family properties. And they caught it here. Okay. Really appreciate the staff, catching something like that kept all that mess out of the attorneys and stuff. That's a free service that anybody can sign their land up here. And I suggest that you do, because it certainly worked out for us. I signed all of ours up. They caught it and that was the end of it then.
And that's a program in the deeds office that if you submit your name and an email address, and they will be notified if someone tries to file papers in your name, your property and stuff, and they can alert you on that. So, and you can do it by Dave or David. So a couple different ways they'll allow you to do it, and it takes like 1 minute. It's very quick.
Anybody else?
I'll give you guys as quick a report as I can on July and August is totally busy as far as hearing committees to our legislature. Last Thursday and Friday, we went over every one of the articles in the Constitution. That was the only thing on the agenda. And really, the only thing amounted to that was well, some good points of discussion that everybody took home. But the city of Milwaukee does have one more vote because they're over 1 million on population, 900,000 and 300,000 are the breaks. Green Bay is over 300,000. But so they have one more vote on committee stuff. Before that, I spent 4 days in Wisconsin Dells, and we went over every resolution that the governor signed here before the Supreme Court came down that he couldn't change the wording in the sentences or something. Like last year, I think there was 220 some changes or vetoes. And now with that Supreme Court ruling, there was 9. The total Wisconsin budget, Governor Evers he came out with a budget of $14 billion, and the legislature passed a total budget for $12.4 billion. And from everybody I can talk to, highway, welfare, Polk and Governor Evers signed some pretty decent things. I can see about $2 million that really helped out Polk County. The biggest thing was we had a resolution to, we have one person, I believe, in Lincoln Hills, or one person that we, the charge was $2,500 a day, state facility. And that got reduced to $500 a day, and Governor Evers signed it. So that alone in our budget is better than $700-800. Next year, that'll go up to $700 a day. But that sure is hell a long ways from $2,500 a day. And then he signed some 30 million for highway and different things. Anyway, that's the budget part we went through. As far as resolutions, I'm on the steering committee, and I had 3 resolutions from our Health and Human Services. One of them is funding community support program for crisis services. Anyway, they all passed. Those 5 all passed without any negativism. Last year, we had 7. They all passed at the state convention. And I still don't know what governor signed 2 years ago and what he didn't. The one that we need, this mental health facility, was very similar to 5 other, or like there's 28 counties that got 2/3 of the land in the state of Wisconsin, and on the bottom third, you got 2/3 of the population. So that's why we're always short, we gotta fight so hard for what we get. But anyway, the last biennium, they did give us some money to rent or build a mental health facility, because the transportation and everything is just unreasonable. I remember when Sheriff Knutson at one of our legislative meetings, he just broke down and cried. He said, I can't take a driver. It has to be a county deputy, and then another deputy to be with, because several years ago, somebody escaped down at Eau Claire. But anyway, I went together with 5 other counties, and so we got 6 counties signed this resolution for a facility. And the legislature they'll give us some money to rent or build a facility, but our northern part of Wisconsin has always had a resolution in there for the state to fund that operation. And they're never going to do it. And the biggest thing that I said at every one of these meetings is, we gotta take the bull by the horns and we gotta operate that facility ourselves. I'm convinced you're never, they got their own, facility down there to run and they're not gonna pay to run for ours. And anyway, we had one more resolution here, that was similar, to Eau Claire County. And, that was on, is it here? It said increasing funding for nutritional programs for the elderly. And I went together with Eau Claire County and sponsored that and got that passed. The one from Land and Water was from increasing base funding for our county conservation staff to $20.2 million. And that one passed. And then there was one more resolution from part of that one. But anyway, all 5 of those got passed. And then after our all the steering committee votes, well, then it goes to the our county board, our state board, and but they'll approve all those and they'll go to our state convention in September. So it was very nice to have all the support. And it's you got to do some negotiating. I know most of the people on the committee. It's very, very helpful to Polk County when you get everything done that you people proposed on the committees. And just carrying it through. Don't know anything else. And
Thank you, Johnny.
went well.
Anybody else have anything? I'm all right, I'm Ross.
To adjourn.
I'll second it.
Any discussion now, discussion on that? All in favor? Aye.